Bless you all for tuning in again. So today is on Sunday, 21st, I guess. We're not to 22nd. And definitely it's been a good week. Can compliment it just like that. And, as usual, the end week comes and the new week is here with the uncertainty between, Iran and USA. A lot is currently going on, guys. The market is currently moving, not really, especially for swing traders. The market is definitely not, somehow favoring us. Yes, there are setups, but not that much setups. But at the end of the day, you have to show up and do what is necessary. Yeah, swing traders. I was on a trade. I think I held it for around a week. It ended up with an SL. It was an NZDGPY. That's only the major trade that I can try and explain to you what happened. And yeah, but this week I'm looking at indice. I'm looking at an indice called US30. I'm closely looking at it, monitoring it. I'm also looking at EURUSD. I'm looking at USDCHF. I'm looking at EURAUD. I'm looking at GBPAUD. I'm also looking at I think GBPAUD, if not EUROCAD. So yeah, those are some of the pairs that I'll be breaking down for you. And this video is basically for swing trader. If you're a swing trader, feel free, of course, to definitely continue, sharing knowledge here and there. We're sharing knowledge here and there. For the swing trader 4 hour, I'm only analyzing from the daily and the 4 hour. So, and I'm looking at SMC imbalance, liquidity sweep, a range, a certain type of range, discount zone and premium zone. That's what I'm looking at definitely on this video. And in short, that's what my strategies: premium zone, discount zone, liquidity sweeps, imbalances, and nothing much there. And a fib tool, fib tool 71 and 75% levels. What I've recently incorporated is now that I'll be entering from the 75% levels after going through all the 30 trades. I think 30 to 40 trades that I have taken from the start of the 2026. I've come into conclusion that a 1 to 3 is a possibility for my setup. That simply means I only need a win rate of 30 to 40% there, and that's how you play with the strategy here and there. But win rate is not that much a factor. What is the factor is your risk to reward ratio. If it's a 1 to 2, expect a more than 50% win rate. If it's a 1 to 1, probably you can expect an 80-70% there. If it's a 1 to 3, the win rate reduces, guys, to 30%, 40% there. Win rate is okay. So yeah, let's dive in and let me see what let me show you guys what I'm looking for. So yeah, this is what actually I'm looking at the moment. And I have US30, have Euro USD, have USDCHF, have EURAUD, GBPAUD, EUROCAD. Most of the pairs is CAD USD, Euro USD, and US30 definitely have incorporated these indices because I'm seeing some type of potential, right? So this is what I'm looking at. This is the 4 hour you can see here. Let's go to the daily and to explain a little bit what I'm looking at. It's a slow by slow thing. So yeah, so actually what I'm looking at is I'm timing this range here. You see this 4 hour candlestick range here on the daily, this daily candlestick 4 hour, that's the range that I'm looking at. So I'm looking at definitely buying at the discount zone and selling at the premium. But at the moment you can see US30 has been kind of going up, right? So there is no need of me again trying to reverse trade on this setup. Say that I'm looking for sales. No, let's wait for buys. I'll be patient with it. I'll wait for buys, and then I'll probably be waiting for 1 to 3. So I'm definitely looking out for a range from this one. You see this whole range here, this whole range here. That's what basically I'm looking at. This whole range here, right? That's what I'm looking at. US30. And when you go to the 4 hour, you can now let's look at what we call the confluences of what I'm actually looking at, right? So I drag my fibs from the lower zone right there to above here, right? The peak of that high right there, and from that range, I'm looking for three things, right? It's not necessarily a liquidity sweep, but I must see what we call a break of structure. I must have what we call an imbalance, right? A gap that has been left for orders that have it's definitely orders that have not been filled yet, and there is a high possibility the price comes to those orders, takes them in, and continue going to the upside. So that's basically what an imbalance is. Nothing much there to discuss about. And then definitely I can say that this probably can be a liquidity sweep here. This one here, see from all the this one here can call it a liquidity sweep. It's not a must because the liquidity sweep is basically failed, either low or high, that fails to form a new high or a new high low. So in this form here, this is it, right? You can see I was anticipated that price to reject probably to continue going down, come up here. It led to this break of structure, the previous high, highest high of that, structure. That is what we call break of structure. And then I have imbalance. My 71 and 75% falls between this imbalance, right? So there is a high likelihood and high chances that price will come to these levels down here and then reverse to the upward, right? Like that. So that's definitely US30. Nothing magic there. Simple, simple things here and there. And yeah, this is only for swing traders. If you're a day trader, goodbye. Then I have Euro USD. Euro USD, nothing much. I'm looking at it also. I'm just monitoring it from a far point of view, and you just have to chill a little bit and wait here and there. So I missed a trade last week. I didn't take a trade. There was a trade here. We were dragged my feet from up here to somewhere there. You can see there price came to my 75 and 71% before definitely going a monthly down. So definitely what I'm looking at a pullback to this zone here. There is a very good imbalance that falls between 71 and 75% zones. And that's should be my entry zone. My stop loss is around 50 pips. And then I don't need a liquidity sweep in this case because this is a continuation. When you go to the daily, you can probably see that these likelihood chances of being a continuation are high, right? So this is the range that I'm actually looking at from the daily. This two candlestick range, that's what I'm actually looking at, right? Nothing much there. So yeah, let's go to the 4 hour again. You see what is happening. Yeah, right there, imbalance, very good imbalance, break of structure, and then fibs, that imbalance falls at 71 and 75%. That's a very good setup. Wait for it and see what will be happening when the market opens during the week. And there's a lot of uncertainty. Trump is here, bro, doing his own things here and there. So right now anything can happen. Trump wakes up this day and say that there is a peace new deal, and then the next morning there is no peace deal. Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz. You can't predict, especially for day traders. It's becoming a little bit messy here and there because Trump is messing the markets big time, big time, big time. Then there is this guy, the wash guy, who has come with the good morning thing, the good day thing, bro. Good day is not going to move a market 1,000 pips, bro. We used to Powell, who used to say that good morning or good evening or something like that, and the markets will dump, bro, like crazy, especially in the New York session. But for now, situations have changed, bro. You have a guy who says, I think it's Kevin Walsh, who says about good morning and stuff and things like that. So basically, that aside, that's not right. Suitcases, I don't depend on fundamentals actually on the news. On the news side, I only depend on the structure. So this is the range that I'm looking at on USDCHF. This is a big range here, break of structure right there. Have a small liquidity sweep. Then definitely I'm looking at these imbalance here. So I'm waiting for price, probably to continue coming like that, like this up to this zone. If it happens anyway, if it doesn't happen, it's part of the game. Before again we continue, going to the up. Wow, that's what I'm looking at. Nothing much there. That's USD share, USD CHF. Let's definitely go to Audi EURAUD. This is another trade, and nothing much is going on here. It's basically the same things here and there. These are some of the trades that you should be looking for liquidity sweeps. This is a kind of a reversal here. You can see here. This is a kind of a reversal. This was the previous high. It has been taken out, and then this has been taken out. So there is a high chances that price is continuing going up. You can see here. I had probably this can call this a liquidity sweep right here. And call this a liquidity sweep right there. Liquidity sweep, have a break of structure to the upside, have an imbalance slightly deeper than my 71 and 75%. So higher chances are that price can come all the way to these zones here. But what I'm sure is we can be activated in from the 75%. So price is likely to come all the way here before we move to the upward, right? That's what I'm looking at. Euro Australian dollar, nothing much there. So it is what it is, just chilling and looking at it like that. And then I have what we call GBPAUD definitely. GBPAUD is already playing out, and it's the same as EURAUD, same concept and same everything. So I'm just looking at it, trying to compare which one I should go. Should I go for EURAUD or should I go for for GBPAUD. Slightly the same, moves the same. You can see I have a break of structure right here, the upside liquidity sweep right here. Then I have a very clean imbalance there, which price has rejected from. So yeah, that's GBPAUD. Nothing much to say. That is the same concept as EUROAUD. Then I have I have EUROCAD right here, the last, for the week. And I'm expecting actually this thing to, come below here and probably, reject from this imbalance here. There is a small imbalance there. Let me zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. There is a very nice imbalance here that falls actually exactly at the 71 and 75% zone. So definitely I'm looking, to take something from there. Then I have what you call, probably you can call this one a liquidity sweep, because there's this high, there's this low that has been taken out right there, and that low has led to this break of structure right here. So yeah, have a break of structure, have an imbalance here, have a liquidity sweep, so-called liquidity sweep. So definitely I'm waiting for price to pull back to the basis of these zones right here before we continue going to the upside. So definitely that's my analysis for the week. I don't have much going on. That's it. My journal is intact. I have a very good journal right here, and all the trades that I've taken for the year 2026 are currently, sitting right there. Audi, EURCAD. That's my last pair for the week. I'll be back next week to see what will happen. It's been a long time since I posted on YouTube, but sometimes you have to relax and, I'll come back with new strategies. Let's meet next week for another analysis. Wishing you for the best of the week. Doesn't matter what you're doing. People make money day trading. People lose money day trading. People make money swing trading. People lose money swing trading. Choose your path. It is what it is. Peace.